Hare Krishna. So we're back again. Changed the camera yesterday. I tried to give you a little bit of a backdrop, a view of the ocean, so that you would have something to look at, so it wasn't so boring. However, I was quite disturbed. It was very hot, and mosquitoes were biting me, and I had specific troubles with the I recorded the whole thing, and I was so pleased with everything, anyway it all got lost, and I did this twice, and then yesterday the computer ran out on me twice, so I tried to do 3 different recordings, and I'm here again now trying to finish the chapter off for the 5th time. So let's see if we can finish it off today. This from text, I believe it was text 20 that we finished at, but I'm not too sure. But let us read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, text 21, chapter entitled Process of Creation, I hope. Let's see what it was. Yes. So it was Process of Creation. And I remember that the next one is the cause of all causes, I think. Supreme Lord. So we've still got the helicopters in the background. Yesterday the children were making so much noise on the beach, and the helicopters were making so much noise, and the buses were coming past the cars, and it was actually quite, you could see by the way I was looking and trying to give class, I was disturbed, and I apologize to you all that I couldn't speak very well or read very well. Please accept my apologies for not doing a very good service yesterday. Let me now pay my respectful obeisances and say some prayers. Narayanam namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Divim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jamudirayat Nastya Pravesya Bhadresyu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Slokiya Bhakti Bhavashti Naishtiki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyan Tirmyandasya Gyanangana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vanchakapa Chubhisya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Just let me say that there are so many prayers that we can sing and devotees do sing before class, and there's so many things we could do, but and also recite the Sanskrit, etc. I'm not doing any of this because I know time is of the essence, and really I don't want to waste anyone's time, and I do sincerely pray to the Lord before every class. So I really hope that you'll forgive me for not singing too many different prayers, and you'll allow me just to do these condensed few prayers. Anyway, I hope it's enough to please the devotees and the Lord. And yesterday I also had very big ear infection in my left ear, and today it's in both ears, ear infection, but at least I got some drops today, so I hope that I can do something nice for you. Text 21. Srila Sukadev Goswami said, "It is the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who gives liberation. By thinking of his lotus feet at every second, following in the footsteps of authorities, the devotee in trance can see the absolute truth. The learned mental speculators, however, think of him according to their whims. May the Lord be pleased with me." So Sukadev here is, of course, praying to the Lord in the authorized way. And he's thinking of the Lord at every second. He doesn't want to let the Lord out of his thoughts. And he follows in the footsteps of the Mahajans, the great authorities, the Acharyas, the devotees, the perfected devotees who've gone previously. He doesn't want to give something that is adulterated, that is his own opinion, his own impression, although he will bring forth realizations, and soon you will hear he is glorified as a person who is as great as Brahma. As great as Brahma, who is the supreme authority in the universe. So that's quite a title, and other people may conjecture or think of a certain way, but Sukadev actually knows. So Sukadev is a very great soul. And here he's being very correct in the way he's presenting it, and this is the adhikar, this is a standard that we have to follow if we want to be qualified, to have the adhikar. This is the standard. So we don't think of the Lord according to our whims. Sometimes we hear the Christians say that they don't accept devotees or anyone who is a Christian because they don't believe in idol worship, and that the Lord doesn't have a form. Well, maybe not all Christians say this, but definitely some think this way. And they think that if you're not worshipping, I've heard this from a personal friend, it hurt me at the time in the heart. He mentioned if you're not worshipping God, then you're not worshipping God. In other words, if you're not worshipping our God, then we don't accept that you're actually worshipping God. A very sad thing to think, a neophyte thing, of course. The Lord just simply doesn't accept service from a separatist, a person with a separatist mentality that one person, one God is better than another, or even one group who's serving the Lord is better than another. Please, I would pray, if anything, that I never fall into that category, and I try my best not to falling into any of these isms, and my spiritual master, my group is better than your group, my religion's better than your religion, etc., etc. Just think of the Lord correctly according to the previous authorities, and all will be good. Text 22. May the Lord, who in the beginning of creation amplified the potent knowledge of Brahma from within his heart and inspired him with full knowledge of creation and of his own self, and who appeared to be generated from the mouth of Brahma, be pleased with me. So this Lord who was appearing to be generated from the mouth of Brahma, this is the Lord as the incarnation of the Rig, Sama, Yajur and Atharva Veda. And of course we also hear the Lord came out of the nostril of Brahma as Vrahadev. We also hear that the Lord came out of the third eye of Brahma as Rudradev. So herein we're hearing about the Vedas. Why? Because the Vedas are specific in this regard, because Sukadev is praying like Brahma prayed in the beginning of creation for this creative potency to actually be able to explain the Lord, to be able to explain the full Srimad Bhagavatam in the correct way. In the beginning, the Lord amplified the potent knowledge of Brahma from within his heart. So here we understand that when you have a seed form and then you have a potent power, like you would have a projector and you have the mathematic image and then it's projected onto an outer screen, and that image then gets bigger and bigger depending on the potency of the power source projecting the image. So similarly, Brahma's knowledge was in a seed form, and the Lord amplified this. He brought it to life and he expanded it, and he allowed Brahma to understand about the whole creation. So we have different brainwaves, and one of those brainwave, a beta brain rhythm, will process information in a linear fashion one step after another. And each piece of information that comes in, it'll process it accordingly. But we also have different lower brainwaves, like the alpha and theta, for example, that will take chunks of data, a whole piece of information, and process that whole piece. And you have computing systems that do the same thing. They process whole chunks of data in order to be more efficient. And then you'll have the delta brain rhythm, in which the Lord can give you the sum total of all knowledge and allow you to understand that. That's what he did to Brahma. He gave him the full knowledge of the Mahatattva, of every. Mahatattva is all the activities that are going to happen in material nature. It's different to the Pradhan, which is all the activities that possibly could happen, but they're not in a manifested state because they don't have time. First, they don't have the expanded 24 material elements or ingredients. Then they don't have the three divisions, the three modes of nature. Then they don't have time. And so therefore they don't have the backing of the Lord as Garbha and Shira Dakshai Vishnu, the super soul expansion. But the Mahatattva has this. It's a complete activities within material nature. So Brahma understood all of these things except one aspect, and that is his own life. Otherwise it would be extremely boring. So Brahma does not know what's happening in his own future. That is how it was possible for Brahma to be bewildered by Lord Krishna's activities. Otherwise he wouldn't have been bewildered, but he was. Text 23, and Sukadev here is praying for the Lord's mercy. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who enlivens the materially created bodies of the elements by lying down within the universe, and who in his Purusha incarnation causes the living being to be subjected to the 16 divisions of material modes which are his generator, be pleased to decorate my statements. So Sukadev wants the Lord to be with him and help him speak and help his speaking remain chaste to the Lord. And he's mentioning here about the Lord as Garbha Dakshai Vishnu. First you have the Karana version of Vishnu, Karana Dakshai Vishnu, who lays on the causal ocean outside the universe. And then when he expands inside each universe, the universe has come out of the pores of the Lord. So when he expands inside into each universe, he lays on the Garbha. The word Garbha means a womb. So the womb is where everyone comes from, the mother's womb. And Lord Brahma, he comes from the lotus flower which springs forth from Garbha Dakshai Vishnu's navel, from the Garbha ocean. So in this way, Lord Brahma does actually have a mother and a father. Although he's known as being unborn, Garbha Dakshai Vishnu is the Supreme Lord, and he has a wife. As such, you may say, well, where is it in scripture he has a wife? Well, he is known as Narayana, who lays on the water of the causal ocean or the Garbha ocean, for example, or the Milky Ocean in relation to Shira Dakshai Vishnu. And his wife is Lakshmi Devi, and she's always serving the lotus feet of her husband Narayan, and she's always situated on the chest, on the Srivatsa curl of the Lord, as a mother of all good fortune. And all good fortune, of course, is that which is connected with the Lord. So in this way, Brahma has a mother and a father. Very nice. And we all descend from Brahma. And of course, the Purusha incarnation then he causes everybody to be subjected to the 16 divisions of material modes, which are the things which are the generator of the bodies of people. So we have the knowledge gathering senses, we have the 5 Mahabhutas, Pancha Mahabhuta, and then we have the knowledge gathering senses and the working senses, and we have all these items that are needed for material creation. And we also have time in there, and these are all needed for us to live within material nature and be subjected to the law of karma that Lord Brahma created to kind of incarcerate us, if you like. It's called the forgetfulness of the living entity, forgetfulness of his eternal identity. And I would say that if you want a deeper understanding of all these verses, please study Srila Prabhupada's purports, because Srila Prabhupada's purports in different books, in the Bhagavad Gita, in Srimad Bhagavatam, and in Chaitanya Charitamrita, they touch on different things in different ways. So by studying each book, each topic, each purport of Prabhupada, you'll get a very good overview of what you need to do in life. You'll get very good teachings, not just an overview. Text 24. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of Vasudeva, who compiled the Vedic scriptures. The pure devotees drink up the nectarian transcendental knowledge dropping from the lotus-like mouth of the Lord. So here again we hear something which is a further production of nectar. Can you squeeze, how much nectar can you squeeze out of something, you know? So first you have the Vedas and you have the whole material creation, etc., of the Lord coming in different forms. You know, the Lord's the Checha Guru, the Lord is the Guru as the spiritual master, then the Lord is also the Guru as the Vedas. But let's take it one step further. Let's bring into the paradigm the Lord as Vasudeva, Vyasadeva, who then wrote what's called the cream of all Vedic literature. So let's extrapolate it to the point of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is what Vyasadeva is about to speak on, and what Sukadeva is about to speak on, what Vyasadeva is going to write down for us. So all of these things are wonderful. They're all wonderful. My dog has come to say hello to me here. Dropping from the lotus-like mouth of the Lord. So that is, and the pure devotees drink up this nectarian transcendental knowledge. So they drink it with their ears. The cups of their ears become vessels for drinking this nectarian beverage of transcendental knowledge. And I hope you guys listening to this, I hope you're enjoying this transcendental nectar, because you can't get it anywhere else than from a devotee. Srimad Bhagavatam is the best nectar we can drink. Now, where is it coming from? It's dropping from the lotus-like mouth of Srila Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva spoke it to his son, and his son is now explaining that he's received it in disciplic succession, and he's going to speak it as he was taught it. And he's praying to his father as the Supreme Lord. He's actually praying to the Lord, of course, but his father is the Lord, to please give me the power, keep everything in line exactly as the previous acharyas have done prior, and let me be a chain in that perfect disciplic succession to offer pure, unadulterated wisdom to everyone. And we hear the lotus-like mouth. So the idea of lotus, I've mentioned it to you, it's in relation to devotional service. So this Bhagavatam is actually service to the Lord. The Lord wants everyone to go home, and therefore the person who speaks Bhagavatam is performing service for the Lord on behalf of the Lord. That is the Vyasadeva, Of course, in the more conditioned state, you're performing service to your spiritual master in the correct chain, which is the right way, as Sukadev's just mentioned in the prior text. Text 25. My dear king, Brahma, the firstborn, on being questioned by Narad, exactly apprised him on this subject as it had been directly spoken by the Lord to his own son, who was impregnated with Vedic knowledge from his very birth. Wow, so this is a very nice line. This is a very nice line. Let me understand this for one moment. So here we've got an introduction of the next chapter. Now, you hear this often. You hear the next chapter being introduced. When you have an important person coming into a room, he is given an introduction. So when you have an important chapter, the next chapter that follows of information, it's coming. In other words, you have finished that chapter, and the final summary of these prayers to the Lord on behalf of the creative process, if you like. And I keep mentioning to you, it's in the refrain of Brahma, because this is how Brahma did it. This is the creative process. He prayed to the Lord, and then the Lord inspired him from within the heart, and this is how we also do it. We please the Lord. So the summary of that, the end point, was to pray to Vyasadeva. So that's a sum and substance of Srimad Bhagavatam, is that you pray to the Lord, and the Lord's incarnation in this final end was Vyasadeva. Now we're going to hear the new topic of Brahma, who was who was that Brahma was speaking to Narad. That's straightforward, but what I'm trying to think here in my mind as I look empty is the question that was asked by Maharaj Pariksit quite a while ago, or was it asked by Sukadev, answered by Sukadev? And do you remember I mentioned there is different in the fourth person voice, there is different opinions coming in which all say the same thing. So Vyasadeva is purposefully making this colorful by bringing in these different characters, and then he's going to end the conversation between Maharaj Pariksit and Sukadeva Goswami. At the culmination of this, Maharaj Pariksit is going to ask a series of questions in the 8th chapter, and then they're going to be answered by different characters coming in. So we're going to have a whole plethora of different perfected beings and saints who are going to speak on behalf of the universe, on behalf of this fourth person perspective of attaining perfection. And this is such a wonderful, wonderful gift we're given in this book. So we're going to hear soon from so many people, and we've heard from Pariksit Maharaj asking questions, and Shaunaka Rishi asking questions, and then we've heard from Sutta Goswami and Vyasadeva, and we've heard from Sukadev, and soon we're going to hear about Lord Brahma, and we're going to have Narad asking the questions, and then after that we're going to have Vidura with a large section asking Maitreya. But first, let's keep it simple. Let's keep it on these teachings that are coming up of the Purusha avatar, Purusha Shakta. So we previously heard about the Virat, the universal form of the Lord, And we're going to hear that again repeated just so that we understand the point. In other words, a very important point. And we're going to hear it in a summary also. So this chapter is now ending. And we're going to hear, next we're going to hear about Lord Brahma. What's the title? Let me go. It's called The Cause of All Causes. And we're going to hear Sri Narad asking Brahma some questions. So let's read this final text. Text 25, my dear king, Brahma, the firstborn, on being questioned by Narad, exactly appraised him on this subject as it had been directly spoken by the Lord to his own son, who was impregnated with Vedic knowledge from his very birth. So let us end it there, and we'll go on to the next chapter. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.